Good evening, all. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all doing well this lovely Thursday evening. This is West Ham Unofficial, and this is episode 18 of a big talk about football. I'm joined with Mike tonight. Mike, 18 episodes of this now is it's flown by.
18 episodes. Where's the time gone, eh?
I know.
We're having so much fun, aren't we, in lockdown?
Yeah. Well, there's nothing else to really do, is there? That's 18 weeks we've been doing this. So thank you very much for the support that everyone's gave. Right, let's go through a couple of comments. Proper United. Dave, hello, mate. You've just come into the background. We'll get you on in 2 secs. But just before, Mike, you're co-hosting with me for the next 10 minutes or so. Just quickly, in terms of West Ham, obviously very sad yesterday that it was the anniversary, the 28th anniversary of Bobby Moore's death.
Yeah, we've got the Bobby Moore shirt on, mate. So
yeah. Very sad. But the West Ham kind of community came together yesterday, didn't they? And it was nice to see.
Yeah, it was very, very nice to see, and he'll always be remembered. I'm absolutely sure for evermore to West Ham fans, and I was one of the lucky ones that actually saw him play. So, he was the reason I become a West Ham fan. Full stop.
Yeah. Probably the best player to put on a West Ham shirt, and probably the arguably the best player to put on an England shirt. Obviously, the only captain to lift the World Cup as a West Ham United player. United, there you go. Hi Ben, welcome, mate. I hope you are well. Proper United here. Looking forward to hearing from Baker. Yeah, we see him very shortly. Is Josh on this episode? He's my cousin. No, he's unfortunately not. Amanda, sorry about that. R.I.P. Bobby, definitely. David Hammond. Good evening, mate. R.I.P. Bobby. Yeah. R.I.P. Yeah. I watched Bobby's car many times. Well, that's very. I'm very good, mate. I'm very interesting. Evening, Jake, and evening, Gareth. Right, without further ado, let's get our first guest on. But before we do, check out Canning Town Lane using the link in the description down below. That would be greatly appreciated. So let's get on with it then. We've got our first guest, Dave from Proper United. Dave, how are you? Oh, we can't hear you, mate.
Here we go. Is that better?
There you go. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay? Sorry about that. I always fall for that one. Yeah, all good this side, Jake. Good to see you. And Dave?
Yeah, good. Only one Bobby Moore. And yeah, just explain to us, Dave, mate.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing? You right, mate?
Good to see you.
Yeah, and you, buddy.
Good. So Dave, just explain to the viewers about your YouTube channel and what you do as a Man United fan.
Yeah, just similar to you, Jake. We're a positive platform, and what we're trying to do is make sure that we support our team. As simple as that. We don't care about the politics. We don't care about all this abusing the players. And you support your club, whether you're West Ham, Leeds, Dagenham. You support your team positively, don't you? A true supporter knows what a true supporter is, and likewise, like yourselves, we have respect for each other. And you've got all these so-called supporters, and they're not supporters; they're criticisers. That's all they are. So we're coming out and there's enough of these channels come about now, and we're sort of like standing up and saying, listen, we've been going to the match a long time. This is what you do. You support your team the right way. You support them. End of. That's the word, isn't it? Support. So
yeah.
Hence the name Proper United.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you go over to subscribe to their channel. There's their channel there. Commenting Proper United. Right, let's get into it then. So, Dave, without further ado, in terms of Manchester United, good win against Newcastle at the weekend. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, a bit laboured in the first half. It's typically United really at the moment. We're absolutely fantastic in parts, swashbuckling, fast attacking, but the defence is letting us down a little bit. It's a shame, really. We was on a bit. Last time we spoke, Jake, we was on a bit of a roll. We was top of the league, so how the Sables turned. The consistency of them above us, that other team. Say no more. Won't give them the kudos, but you've got to stay consistent to get anywhere near that league. Like yourselves, you're doing really well. The consistency is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Mike, in terms of Newcastle, they are dropping off under Steve Bruce, aren't they?
Yeah, and they did have a little bit of a resurgence, didn't they, the other day?
Mm.
And yeah, because they got some maximum back, and but then they've lost Callum Wilson, who's scoring most of their
true.
goals. So I think, well, basically scoring all their goals, weren't they? I don't think they got many more goal scorers, full stop. Yes,
No.
but they're looking over their shoulders now at Fulham, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we got the result in the end, and it was settle for a result all day long. But yeah, we got over the line. That's the main thing.
Yeah, no, you did enough.
Yeah.
That's all we got to do, isn't it? That's all we got to do.
Yeah.
Definitely. Couple more comments. Dave says I'm used to nick off school and go to the snooker to the snooker club. John Bond, Malcolm, Allison, and Bobby would give us £3 for 3 cards. Well, that's amazing, mate. That is amazing. Kieran, all the way over from Australia. Kieran, tell us what's the time over there, because you and Neil seem to be absolutely nocturnal. I'm sure Neil will turn up very, very soon. But what's the time over there, mate? Forever blowing bubbles forever. Hi, mate. Thanks for joining us. Great stories. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Good story. Yeah. Only lived in Tudor Road at the time. Bobby was the best tipper. Well, there you go. There you go.
You always go back when they tick well.
Definitely. So you're playing tonight in Europe against Real Sociedad. Thoughts on that? I think it's 8 o'clock. Are you confident going into that?
Yeah, well, we've probably done the hard work. Not that you can be complacent in any game. We've done the hard work over there, haven't we? But he's put a half decent side out. Looking at Bruno Fernandes, he's captain tonight, isn't he? So he's not taking it for granted. It's all regular players just looking at the team to my right there. So yeah. I think we'll win. It's a couple of goals will do. But yeah, I think you asked me a pre-question, didn't you, Jake, about is it your priority? I think for Manchester United and being a supporter, as we say, every game is a priority. Never mind, And if we lose, we say, oh, we don't really care, but we do. Of course, we do. It's like when you go out of the League Cup, innit? Oh, it's only a League Cup, but come on, we're proper supporters. Every game you lose, you're devastated till the next game, aren't you?
Yeah.
Again, doesn't matter who you support.
Yeah. Just got the lineup. You've gone for Henderson. That's interesting because we've been linked with Henderson, haven't we?
Have you? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think he's a good keeper. I really do. He's just unlucky he's behind De Gea, really, isn't he? So, I mean, it's just difficult, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I love Fabianski, but he's not going on forever, is he?
No, definitely not. So yeah, should be a kind of a good game for you. It's been mentioned, about Mike West Ham, Europa League, Champions League, and what's going on. But Dave, if we say that, I think West Ham have got a bit of an advantage when we say that we haven't got any other focuses. We are out of the FA Cup. We haven't got any Europe competitions to worry about. I mean, do you think for these top clubs, we play Man City on the weekend, and for Man United, for Leicester, they're in Europa League playing tonight as well. Do you think West Ham, we've got the upper hand in terms of that, haven't we? And do you think we can push on?
Yeah, I mean. You've got Moyes there, and one thing when he gets it going, he does get it going, doesn't he? He was consistent at Everton, and he got him into the Champions League one. So yeah, they've definitely got a chance. And everyone, you're looking at West Ham and thinking it's a tough game now. So you're in the mix for sure. And once you're in the mix, a few lucky wins or a few lucky draws gets that confidence going, get the team going, gets the fans going. Confidence breeds confidence, doesn't it? And definitely in the mix.
Yeah, Mike, you're going to come back on later on to talk about the Manchester City game, but I think it really is kind of confidence going into that. I think they're a very strong side, but yet again they've played away from home in Europe in the week. So I think these clubs, they've got the squads. There's no doubt about it. But have we just got that cutting edge there? Do you think?
I think we can give them a game again. We did at home, didn't we? But admittedly, they weren't in great form then. But what have they done? Is it 18 or 19 games in a row now? So, they've got 2 squads, haven't they, basically?
Yeah.
You need to do us a favour, lads.
Well,
we will.
Trying, don't you worry, we'll be trying.
We will try.
Go all out for it.
But I really think, we've got to go and give it a go. Okay, we can't be too open, otherwise they'll rip us to shreds. But we've got to have a little crack at it, really. Yeah. Nothing after winning against Tottenham last week. If we'd have lost that game and then going into this Man City game now, we're thinking, the slide is on. Where we're going to get our next point from. But I think winning at Tottenham's taken a little bit of pressure off. I know we've got 4 tough games coming up, but if we can win a couple of those, 2 of those 4 games, we're still going to be up and around there. So
we are.
Yeah, why not? A draw would be a great result. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So let's just go through some comments then. Do we have any? Yeah. We've just talked about that forever. Definitely. Kieran with a time update, 5:10 a.m. over there. Well, thank you very much for joining us, mate. 10 minutes past 5 in the morning. I mean, I know you're nocturnal, but thank you very much. Massive game for Fulham at the weekend. I think they got Palace. Yeah, I think to be fair for those sides down there, I think every game is a big game. Every game is a cup final for them. Good work. Yeah. 10 past 5, but I really don't know how you do it. Fulham are looking good. Yeah, they are. They are. Looking really, really good. Which 3 teams do you think will get relegated? Oh, that's difficult. Dave, I'll take that to you first. Which teams do you think will get relegated?
Definitely Sheffield United are going, aren't they? Yeah. I think the 3 that are there are going to go myself. Is it Fulham? Yeah. Who's the other one?
Fulham, West Brom, Sheffield United. Dad's got Newcastle in there as well. Yeah, so perhaps.
I think Newcastle are lucky that there's 3 worse teams in them. Otherwise, I think they'd be falling through the trapdoor.
Yeah, well, there's I think it's a 4-horse race down there, really, with a 3-horse race. Sheffield United are already down.
Unless one of them do, one of those unbelievable runs, which is very difficult at the moment, isn't it? In this league.
Yeah. That's what we're doing at the moment. Well, Man City have got an unbelievable run, but we've got a good run going. Thank you very much. Gary says, if we keep all our players fit, no one knows where we will end up. Yeah, we're going to discuss West Ham thoroughly from about 7:35 onwards. The amount of Man U fans that were moaning back in the 90s when they went out to York in the LC, then after 99 treble of Man U fans say they was at your game. Well, there you go, Ken. Thank you very much for joining us, Ken. Sheffield United, West Brom. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's move on then. Mike, thank you very much for coming on. Come on about 7:45 to talk all things West Ham. Thanks, mate.
Will do. See you later.
Take care, Bob.
Thanks, Mike. All right then. Just before we do bring our next couple of guests on, Dave, let's go through the last few comments. Right, people are just naming teams now: West Brom, Fulham, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Dave has gone Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United to be relegated. I think that means to be relegated. Dad's gone Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle. I don't know what's going on in the chat at the moment. Which of our players would he like at Man U? See, that's interesting, Gary. What players from West Ham United would you like at Man U? But you can't say Declan Rice.
Well, that was the obvious one. That's the one we want, actually. As you know, we're trying to buy English players, so you can't go beyond Declan Rice if you have to choose one.
Oh, I've just seen this comment from Ben. Benfica 2-1 up, getting that might be Arsenal out of the Europa League. I'd love that. I'd love that. I think that's 2 away goals for them now. That would be good. David says, West Brom karma for sacking Slav. Yeah, definitely. Sacking Slav. Love Slav. Cruel. Yeah. Kieran, the Geordies are bricking it. Right, let's get a couple more fans now. We've got James, who is a Liverpool fan. James, good evening. How are you?
Hi, James.
Good evening. How you doing? Hiya, Baker. You okay, mate?
Good. Yourself?
Very, very well. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear. We need to.
Yeah, no, well, I've got a new mic as well, so I just wanted to know it worked. That's all.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
you can't hide.
For long.
Yeah. James, you've also got a channel as well. Tell us about your channel. I've got an image here.
Yeah, absolutely. So TTM Sports, it started off as a sports podcast, but we cover a whole range of sporting interviews. So we've interviewed FIFA referee Mark Halsey. Last week, we interviewed Marcus Stewart. And in the next hour, we're going to interview the current reigning, defending undefeated British middleweight boxing champion, Denzel Bentley. But we also do more. Yeah, we undertake sporting challenges as well. So we have a game called Fact or Fiction, where I go up against my second host, James, and we have 5 sporting questions. And last week we did the chili challenge. So, take a look at that. It was the world's second hottest pepper, the Trinidad Scorpion Maruga. And the more questions you got right, the less peppers you have to eat. So we do all sorts of stuff like that. So it's really cool. So subscribe. One day, Jake, we might catch you up.
Oh, very good. Right. So the big game that happened on the weekend, and James, you're not gonna like talking about this. This is the question we are going to be answering in the next 10 minutes or so. Is Liverpool blue? My Everton fan has just grinned when he saw that. He's just grinned. I can see him backstage. He liked that. Good evening, Scott. How are you?
I'm very well, pal. How are you?
Hi,
Yeah,
Scott.
not too bad.
Baker, how are you? James, I'd say it's nice to meet you, but it'd be a lie.
Oh, it's not a problem. I can look around and say Liverpool at our very, very worst and depleted, and Everton at their very, very best got the victory. So well done. You deserve the victory, but you ain't won nothing for 100 years, have you? So.
What's interesting is you can make as many excuses as you want. I'll still make them irrelevant.
But it's true. But it's true, isn't it? It's true.
You're only as good as your squad. If you can't buy players because you've run out of money and it's all the glory's gone already, no problem.
Well, I don't think we've run out of money. I just think the owners are reluctant to give it, which is frustrating. So you're right in saying that the investment. I mean, look at all the stuff we've won over the past couple of years. You can't tell me that we haven't had a massive revenue stream of cash coming into the club. Okay. The disappointing thing for us fans, it's not been invested back in the club. There's only so far £8 million signings will get you.
Jake,
I'm just too set. Right, I tell you what, this is no good. Let's just go. Carry on, lads.
Very good.
Look, there's one thing with Everton. You have to take your hat off and say, they won their World Cup final. It was the biggest result they've had for the last 20 years, or 10 was it since you won? Kevin Campbell, I think it was. Fair play. The club have had significant investment by your chairman. It's just a shame your ground's not going to be built due to political infringements.
So what's really interesting is the ground has already been authorised, so it will be being built. You're talking already about yesterday's news. All I'm bothered about is tomorrow. There's only one club that's growing on Merseyside, and it isn't Liverpool, is it?
You've got so long to go. You got so long to go.
Look at how far we've come in 12 months with the greatest manager in the Premier League, not Clipperty. Old Carlo over here. I 3 European Cup wins. Anybody else in the Premier League got that? No?
3 European Cup
we'll move on.
Yeah, we've got 6.
No. Managers. Any managers in the Premier League won more than 3 European Cups? So by default, is the best manager in the Premier League? No?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got the result, but we both know it's a temporary thing.
You hope so. I don't agree.
History doesn't lie. History doesn't lie.
Jake needs to fight.
Yeah,
Jake, you jump in.
You've got me outnumbered here, mate. With a Man United fan and an Everton fan, and I'll still tell you.
Oh, well, you're going to be outnumbered a bit more now because we're going to ask that question again. Is Liverpool blue? And we're going to bring the picture up again because, it took me time to find... It took me time to find that image, so I'd like to bring it up a few times.
Well, it never has been, has it? It never has been.
Here we go then. Joining us is another... Joining us is another Everton fan. Daniel, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. Right then, Dave, let's try and dissect this game without it getting very heated here. Right, so let's
I think the word's amusing, not heated.
Well, me and sit back for the next 10 minutes.
The sweat on James's forehead at the moment is nothing but a joy to see.
I think it's just another game for us, but for them it's everything.
Right. Right, let's dissect the game then. James, give us your brief thoughts on the game from a Liverpool perspective.
Well, look, the start, they deserved the goal early on, Everton. There's no getting away from it, no shirking it. Deserved the goal. And across the balance of play, were they streets ahead of us? I don't think so. I think there was a great save by Jordan Pickford, who should have been banned, but that's another story. I think, am I wrong? Am I wrong, though?
Yes.
You know, am I wrong?
100%. You couldn't be any more wrong if you tried.
No, I think Everton deserved to win the match as a whole simply because they scored more goals than us. However, I struggle to believe that was a penalty. That was big. I thought that as soon as the second goal goes in, it's game, set and match. I think Liverpool's issues deriving from, you could say excuses, but come on, mate. Over we've got no one. You're nothing. And I think the owners have a lot to say about this because they haven't invested in Jurgen Klopp to have a bigger squad. Look at Manchester United, big squad. Chelsea, big squad. Man City, big squad. Liverpool's first 11, you'll breeze past Everton, no problem. I could easy.
Well,
easy.
You didn't earlier this season, though, did you?
Well, we didn't have the full squad, did we?
You did. You had a full squad out, and it was 2-2. So that's nonsense.
No, Alisson. We had Adrian in goal. But look, but we don't do well at Goodison Park anyway, do we?
Adrian.
Yeah, look what he did in.
It's literally. Have you got James? Have you got a list in front of you with every excuse? You sound like an English Klopp.
No. It just.
I've never heard so many excuses in a 3-minute window in my life. This is brilliant. You're making me feel warm inside.
There's nothing.
I'm loving it.
Can I just jump in? Dan, can I just get your thoughts on the game? What did you think of it?
Well, obviously, if it wasn't windy, it might have been a different result. But no, yeah, it's definitely pleased my Saturday evening. Very enjoyable, and I thought we played all right. Liverpool, despite their run of form, they're still a tough team to go to, and you still got to go to Anfield and play football and play to a good standard to get a result. And I think we tactically were good. We haven't been in some games this season. We've had Newcastle do the double over us. If I'm honest, we haven't been great in those games. But yeah, I think Carlo tactically got it right. Tom Davies, who's been a bit inconsistent this season, turned up, and I think the stars just aligned with the performance really, and we played really well.
Yeah. Dave, just any last thoughts from you before I let you go?
I don't have to say anything. It made me night.
Well, it's just one more time.
Well,
Where is it?
Just one last one. Yeah, I mean, James, you've given it out for 2 years. So you've got to be able to take it, mate.
Absolutely.
We're in the same position.
Well, to be fair,
you got to be able to take it.
I took it for 30 years before, so I think I can deal with 6 months of pain.
Yeah.
Dave, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you, Baker, man.
See you, Scott. See you, James.
See you, mate.
Right then, let's take a few comments before I get my next guest on, and we're just going to calm the morale down because Neil's comment sums it up perfectly.
Can I just throw one little comment in for James?
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I found most interesting was a 70% fit Dominic Calvert-Lewin outpaced the world's greatest right back to win that penalty, which was an interesting end to a game as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Trent's attributes doesn't lend to defending. I think he's more of an attacking fullback. If you know the game, you know that. But what I will say is Calvert-Lewin is a very good striker and deserves to be playing for England. Look, there's no getting away from it. Everton deserve to win the game. But I think everybody with half an inch of footballing knowledge knows that this is a bit of a difficult situation that will pass. It's irrelevant. Will we qualify for top 4? Do you know what? Christmas Day, top of the Premier League. I was thinking, yeah, we'll be all right here. It's simple. But now I think we've got to, because if we don't, we're not going to attract those players, are we?
I don't know if it's right or not, but someone told me that if every team underneath Liverpool wins their games in hands, Liverpool would be mid-table at 9th.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. But
it's some drop from the top, that, isn't it?
It is a drop. And I think there was a big rumour that went around on social media that there was a fight between Alisson and Andy Robertson. And one of the stupid rumours that came out, talk about kicking you while you're down, was apparently Klopp went into the change room and said, "Oh, sod this," and walked out, which was hogwash. But one rumour that has gone out is there was a fight between Andy Robertson and Alisson, and Klopp got the pair of them together, and he said in the changing room with Henderson, if there's any more of that, you'll both be out the club. So there's definitely tensions within that dressing room. But I think the injuries just started a catastrophic spiral. It's definitely a confidence thing. I mean, when we're talking real football and put partisan derbies aside for a moment, there is a fundamental issue there. And I think for me, this club in the summer, we need some significant investment, because we haven't really, in the last couple of years, since those big Fabinho, Alisson signings, we haven't really brought anybody in.
Can I just jump in? So I'm just going to just 2 secs.
Go on, mate.
Neil says, good job. They're not winning Sainsbury. Jake would have to phone an ambulance. Well, there you go. West Ham pitch, just to lighten the mood. Forget a fully fit Van Dijk. You know what's going to happen here if you've been on the channel. Forget a fully fit Van Dijk. Everybody knows what's coming. Everybody knows what's coming. What's coming, James?
Mr. Dawson.
There he is. Oh boy, West Ham picture is the first thing that sprung to mind. It's Big Craig, Big Craigie Dawson.
Can I ask a question on Craig Dawson?
You can, sir. You certainly can, mate.
A good pal of mine is a big West Ham fan, which makes West Ham my second team, by the way, because he's a top boy. He's young Nick, and he's been saying that Dawson's been unbelievable this season. I've not seen enough of him to comment on it. How good has he been?
Oh, he's been immense. The fact that Watford wanted to get him out the door was he's been immense. He's been one of our best players in the last few months. He's incredible. The way he's come in, we were all thinking we were going to get Tarkowski and 30-40 million pounds, and we bring Craig Dawson in on loan, and you can imagine the underwhelmment there. But I think he's absolutely superb. Absolutely superb.
He's got history for bringing great players out of the loan.
Just 2 sets. I'm just going to bring my next guest on now. We're heading down into the League One. Into League One. It's Simon, who's a Bristol Rovers fan. Simon, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Jake. How are you? Evening, gents.
Evening.
Good evening. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. Simon, we'll come to you because, as you can imagine, we've got a bit of a Liverpool-Everton debate going on here. So just to put that on hold for a couple of seconds. In terms of Bristol Rovers, you played against Wigan in the last few days. It was a loss again for Bristol Rovers. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so obviously Monday, we had the Scouse invasion because Barton came down with his mates. So that is going to be interesting, I think. Obviously, he only had time to do one training session on the Monday. Tuesday's game it's one of those games where the wind really took over. I mean, you could see it just watching online.
Hold on. You're not allowed to use that. That's going to be. Hold on. That's a part. According to everybody that's anti-Liverpool, which is 19 teams in the league, you're not allowed to use wind as an excuse.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, no, I wasn't using it as an excuse because it's the
Just
same 15. It's not an excuse, right? But all I was saying, it ruined the game as a spectacle a bit online. It's bad enough when you're at the game and it's windy, but watching it online. But we were the better side. We had 20 shots, but only 3 on target. So that's where one of our issues lie. And then we conceded 2 set-piece goals, one in the last minute of injury time. So, and I think Joey told us after the game that we've conceded 34 goals from set pieces this season, which works out at nearly 70% of all goals we've conceded has been through set pieces. So in those 2 stats, you can see where our major issues are. And he's convinced he can sort them out. He's got 17 games to do it, so let's hope he can.
Yeah. Just slipping back into the debate. Dan, if we come to you, do you think this could be Everton's push on now in the season to try and push on to get that Europa League place, do you think?
Well, I mean, if nothing's going to persuade, if this ain't going to persuade them, nothing will. It's a big result. You could see, when you see online how the players reacted to it, and how much it meant to them. You've got to think we've got a chance of pushing on. Top 4 still a big ask if you ask me. With there's so many good teams now. There's too many good teams in the league now. But you got to have a go. West Ham are going for it and having a go up there. We're having a go at it. There'll be teams that we don't expect to have a go at it yet to have a go at it. This season's just been too ridiculously random to decide that yet. I think But who knows? Is the answer.
Yeah, Duncan's put an interesting comment here. Liverpool needed Dawson, not an overrated 60 million sticky plaster. Oh, I love that comment. Duncan, thanks very much for putting that into my mind. Any backup, any response to that, James?
Yeah, absolutely. I speak to Duncan every day. He claims every single Liverpool bad result is just an excuse from the club. What I will politely remind him is Manchester United have won absolutely nothing in the past 5 to 6 years, whereas Liverpool have won everything.
That is shots fired, and Dave's still in the back. That is shots fired, and Dave's right in the back. I'm going to bring him for 2 seconds. Dave, a response to
that? Europa League 2017 in Stockholm.
Irrelevant.
4 years ago.
Mickey Mouse.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks very much, Dave. Right, so Scott, if we come back to you then, in terms of Everton, how did you become I was going to say, how did you become a West Ham fan? Then you're not a West Ham fan. How did you become an Everton fan?
My grandparents are from Liverpool originally, and my grandfather insisted I was an Evertonian. And sadly, when I was a young child, he got cancer, and he sat me on his knee, telling me he was dying, and he asked me to be two things. One was to be an Evertonian, and the other one was to always be good. Unfortunately, I've stuck to one of those two.
Yeah. Duncan's still firing shots in the comments on grass is long at Anfield or too windy. Oh, I love it. Well, to be fair, there's one thing that we can all agree with on here. That there's only going to be one team from this array of fans here, and there's only one team that's going to make Champions League this season.
It's a big shout.
Craig Dawson is going to be coming up against Cristiano Ronaldo, and they'll have him right in his pocket. I just thought I'd put that there. You know, I edited that. I put Big Soucek and Dawson on there. I thought I'd put that on there. But
Jay,
James, yeah.
Can I just say one thing? What happens next season when West Ham have fans back in the ground?
I think that's the right response.
Oh, well, you can listen to Moose, you can listen to the geezers on TalkSport all you like, but it's a load of rubbish, if I'm being honest. We're going to move on from that.
Similar atmosphere.
I might have a view on that for you. I think for clubs like Everton, clubs like West Ham, where the crowd can be a negative influence, this season's allowed that maybe to reset, and we might see a different crowd environment when we go back into stadiums, and a much more positive environment, because I think the fans will see the influence that they can have. You look at Arsenal Fan TV and the negativity that creates, that's permeated out through the whole club.
That's right.
I think people are intelligent enough now to see that things like this channel, which is clearly great fun, good crack, but very positive about the clubs and the people involved in it, creates good energy and drops that negative energy. And I think the West Ham fans are an intelligent group of people, and they'll see the effect that positivity's had on the club, and hopefully it'll take them on to be just underneath us.
Finally somebody speaking some sense about that subject. But Simon, if we come back to you, then you play Shrewsbury in your next game. Have you got a bit of confidence and thoughts going into that?
Well, not much confidence. I mean, they put 4 past MK Dons on Tuesday night. Obviously, they've had a massive upturn. It's been quite well publicised, obviously, because Steve Cottrell was in hospital. I think he went in intensive care for a little bit, and he was managing the side from his hospital bed, and they've done really well, and that's obviously been a good motivation for them. So yeah, I think we'll struggle. I mean, we went up there last season. That was a great day out. But I think that, I mean, you're hoping that obviously Barton's going to have a positive influence. He's obviously, he's a relatively speaking intelligent man from a football perspective. He's a thinker on the game. He'll have his ideas. He's already spoken a lot about that. He has had a couple of days with the players, so you're hoping to see a bit of a reaction. I mean, effort hasn't been a problem. And sometimes the ability's there. I mean, the goal we scored was a fantastic goal, great link-up play, good finish. But it's just in fits and starts, and it's just the concentration at both ends of the pitch is the issue, really. So, if he can fix that. I mean, Tuesday is the... Well, I thought this week, this was a big game this week, obviously, with Wigan below us in the league. But Tuesday's a proper 6-pointer, because that's Burton at home. Obviously, they've been struggling. Jimmy Floyd's gone back in there.
That's right.
and they've won. I think it's 3 of their last 4. They've beaten Hull and they beat Charlton on Tuesday night, so they're on the upturn. There's very definitely a mini league at the bottom of League One. There's, I think it's 7 teams, because then there's a big gap of about 7 points to the next. And it's
that's what James is worried about Liverpool getting into in the Premier League in that bottom league.
Yeah, but I mean, Burton,
You've got to remember, it's a long, long time in the future when we sit down again, Scott, and I'll remember this.
No problem.
Oh,
look for-
very
no,
good.
what does crack me up about you big boy supporters is that getting really, it's not you, James, but certain Liverpool fans already getting a bit upset.
That is what it is, isn't
You
it?
mentioned Arsenal TV earlier. You know, the Arsenal fans moaning constantly the position that they're in, the club that they've got. You know, come and watch Rovers for a few weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just to round off this debate, Daniel, if we come back to you, do you really think that you've got the chance, push on now, and if you do get into a Europe spot, do you think that you need to go out make some signings in the summer?
Yeah, I think we do. I think, as we mentioned before in previous podcasters and chats, Carlo came in this season. I wasn't expecting anything big. He had to, create his own foundation and his own format and put his sort of stamp on things. The fact we're in this position to be good from a first season, but I think we do need to grow on. The pool that Ancelotti brings himself is one thing, but trying to get European football is a whole different ball game as far as trying to bring in new players, and such a big persuasive part of trying to join a football club does it have European football, and you need that sort of caliber of players, and you need to try and stay there. That's the big part of it. So yeah, hopefully Ancelotti brings in some signings, and we're going to have to if we get to Europe.
A right back is desperate, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the depth. You got to have a big squad to play in Europe. You look at the teams now playing Thursday night. They play again Saturday and Sunday. You got to have a big squad. If West Ham get in, they're going to have to make some signings.
Yeah.
Same as us.
Yeah.
We're going to have to make some signings, and we're going to have to, have 2 or 3, 4 different players that are good quality in each position to get by. And it's just the way it is now.
Yeah. Just before I start the West Ham section of this show, Simon, if we come back to you for the final thoughts, what do you think should be the end goal for the end of the season? Do you think for Bristol Rovers?
Staying up in the last minute would be. I'd be very happy with that. Last minute of the season. I mean, Joey said it himself this week. We've got to stay up. It doesn't matter whether we do that, 5 games before the end of the season or in the last minute of the season. As long as we finish, above the drop zone, that's the absolute goal. And we're talking winning about 7 or 8 games, which is going to be a real hard struggle. But yeah, if we can do it, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah. And James, any final thoughts?
Yep, Everton deserve to win that match. No 2 ways about it. I think it's just like Liverpool to go and do something in the European Cup. It's just got that written all over it. That looks great temporarily. Not a problem. I think, look, you have to endure all the taunts when you're low, and then when you win, you give it out, and that's the way it is. But we're Liverpool. It's temporary. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much. Mike has rejoined us. Mike, you okay?
Yeah, good guys.
Yeah, good. So guys, Scott, Dan, James, and Simon, thank you very much. We've had a little bit of heated discussion tonight. Scott, thank you very much for coming on for your
Pleasure.
first time.
No problem. Jake, can I ask you one question on West Ham before I go?
Yeah.
Has the West Ham mentality around David Moyes changed from his first tenure to now?
Oh, completely. It has. He came in at the end of 2019, and we all thought this is just kind of to keep us up. And since kind of Project Restart, I'd say he's been superb. Every kind of plan or decision he's made, it's came off, and it's been absolutely superb. But anyway, Scott,
Long
Dan,
may it
James,
continue.
thank you very much. Scott, we'll get you on very, very soon.
No
and all
problem.
of you guys, thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Jake.
Jake.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Ta-da.
Right then, Mike. This is where we talk about some proper stuff now, isn't it? But let's just go through a few comments because we haven't got any gone through any comments. Is Liverpool above us? No, we're above Liverpool. We're above Liverpool. These are the champions, and yeah, I think we were talking about Big Craig Dawson and Big Thomas Suchet there. So if we move on down to the comments, I think just talking about the game. Moyes has built a strong team with spirit. We will still be up there with or without fans. Yeah, definitely. I think, and there we go. In Moyes we trust. But Mike, just before we do continue with the West Ham chat, we've got a very special guest joining us all the way over from his holiday. I think he's on. We are now joined all the way from, I believe he's in Las Vegas. It's Adam. Adam, how are you?
Hi, how's my favourite 13-year-old in the world?
Oh, Adam, how's my favourite 40-year-old in the world?
Well, Jacob, I'm not 40. Although I think it's age. I wonder if I can show you out the window.
Here we go.
It's a bit bright. Anyway, the NFL stadiums out there, the Las Vegas, whatever they're called, Raiders, and I haven't done so well so far. So I mean, you know, the good thing is that we've got a quiz coming up at some point soon, where at least if I lose in Vegas, I will definitely win the quiz.
Well, I mean, this is my show, my channel. My name is Jake, not Jacob. Thank you very much. And if you do call me Jacob again, that'll be it, I'm afraid. Kieran's, I don't know if he's happy or sad that you've joined us for the next couple of minutes. Phil said... Hello. Phil says, I'll enjoy listening to the Champions League music next season at the ground. Definitely. But Adam, you're only on for a couple of minutes. But just give us your thoughts before you go back and I don't know what you do. Go and get a KFC or something, or go and sit on a
gamble
or something. Right.
I'll sit on a slot machine, press some buttons. Hopefully, I'll win. Maybe play a bit of blackjack. Jake, what's your give me your lucky number so that I can put money on it when I go downstairs.
I'll say number 6. Go on, put some on number 6, and I want the if it comes in, mind.
All right, deal. As long as I'm allowed to call you Jacob a couple more times, then that's okay.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you what. I'll give you one more chance. One more chance, Adam. One more chance.
I didn't actually call you it that time. I just said the word. I wasn't calling you it. I was asking for.
Oh, I didn't even actually mean to do that.
No,
amateur hour.
Well, I'm nervous about Saturday. I don't know what I'm more nervous about: the game against Manchester City, or trying to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, or stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning to watch the match.
Oh dear. Let's hope we can get a result of it. But coming up very soon on West Ham Unofficial. We've got some fancy graphics going here at West Ham Unofficial. The showdown, and that's the best picture I could find of you, Adam Frankel. That is the best picture I could find of you. The showdown, Charlie Walsh versus Adam Frankel. If you guys don't know, there's a bit of tastiness brewing between the two of them, and we're going to end it here on West Ham Unofficial very, very soon. Any fighting talk? Any thoughts, Adam, to our opponent, your opponent, I should say.
Yeah, no, our opponent, Jake. Me and you, we're in this together.
No.
Well, okay. Here's the thing with Charlie Walsh. First of all, you brought him up, not me. I didn't want to bring up his name, but now you're bringing him up. Is he even a West Ham fan? Because I don't know about you, but during the Man City match, Jake, are you going to be watching the game?
I will be, yeah, and he'll be sat there in his chair, doing a watch along.
Am I back? Can you see me? Sorry, connection issues. Mike, are you going to be there watching the game?
Oh, definitely, mate. You don't need to worry about that.
And what's Charlie Walsh doing? Charlie Walsh is literally distracting as many West Ham fans as he can, watching him instead of West Ham. What sort of a fan is that? I think he's an undercover fan of another team because, he's dressed up in West Ham. He pretends to be West Ham. But I've watched that bore along. I call it a bore along instead of a watch along. Every time I click on it and look for 1 minute, during a game, he's always talking about food. He's never even talking about West Ham. So, I mean, I just think that for West Ham fans, there can only be one winner. I need to show as a true West Ham fan that I can beat him distracting other people from the game because it's not on, really, is it? And I'll tell you this as well. He called himself the big dog, but Jacob, I think, is a little what? I think
on this channel, he said he's not unfortunately in the chat at the moment, but he did say he quoted when the big dog's hungry, Adam, the big dog feeds.
Well, I don't know about big dog, Jacob. I would call him a little
well, I'm sure you would. No singing, no. Adam's gonna depart to some of your disarray or delight, whatever you want to call it. But it will be very, very soon on West Ham Official, hosted by me, Jake. Jake.
legend.
That's me. Yeah, and hopefully, a little special co-host there as well. You never know. You never know what's going on. This isn't Hammer Shots. This isn't. Down there. We bring it up with graphics. We bring it up with everything here. It will be good. Any last fighting talk words, Adam? And my name is Jake. Actually, thank you, mate.
And I know that's what I call you all the time, right?
Go on then.
I mean, look, Jake. I think that I will easily beat him like I always do, and we're a good team. Jacob and Adam, we're like a dream team.
That was Adam Frankel, and my name is Jake Cox. Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you very much for coming on. Go down and do your stuff. And that will be very soon. What is he doing? What's he doing? Go on, do that again. Go on, bye.
No, it was that.
Thank you very much for coming on, Adam, and that'll be very soon. The big dog, the big dog versus Charlie Walsh very, very soon. Oh dear. Right, can I get rid of him? Right, let's get on with it then. Let's bring some more West Ham fans on. Mike, are you feeling confident now? Happy days in terms of West Ham now?
Yeah, definitely, mate. We've got to be, haven't we? We've got to enjoy this. We've had too many years of feeling down in the dumps and biting our fingernails and are we going to stay up? We just got to enjoy the roller coaster ride, haven't we? We just, it's great at the moment,
Yeah.
Beating Tottenham, that's worth a couple more losses elsewhere. I don't care,
Right, let's bring on...
That's the one we wanted.
Let's bring on two West Ham fans then. We've got James, who's a regular person on the channel. James, how are you?
Wonderful, mate. All good. How you been?
Oh, yeah, happy days. And to do with West Ham, it's happy as well. And also, we've got JP John from JPWHU TV. John, you okay?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you guys keeping?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So let's start then. I mean, John, we'll come to you first. I mean, we've got to have confidence going in to the game on Saturday. We'll discuss the game on Saturday in a minute, but we've got to have confidence going into that after the fabulous win against Spurs.
Oh, absolutely, mate. And don't forget, we picked up a point against City early in the season as well. So, all right, you can argue that City weren't exactly playing to their best. But at the same time, we've got a really good confidence. We've got the highest amount of points we've ever had in the Premier League. It looks like we're actually going to beat the decade monkey that's been on our back because we've never been able to stay in the Premier League for 10 consecutive years. It looks like we'll be able to do it this time. Touch wood, we don't jinx it for next season. Kieran, hello, mate. Hope you're all right. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and let's move on then. James, if we come to you, let's move on. I mean, we'll just overall talk about the game first. Oh, they're a machine, aren't they? They are a machine. Our City.
When you spend millions upon millions, mate, you're going to be a world-class team. The thing is with City, what they've done it well, is they've sorted their defence out. They've brought in Diaz at the back. They turned John Stones into a defender again, and they're looking like a well-oiled machine. And they are on to win all four trophies this year. It's going to be hard. I'm not delusional to think we can go up there and win up there, but it's not out of the possibility that we can go up there and get something. Do you know what I mean? But it's one of them ones. It's a free hit. We go up there. We'll see how we get on. And if we get anything up there, it's a bonus. If we win up there, then top four is looking even better. If we don't get anything, don't get disheartened because we're playing well, and we'll roll on to Leeds the following week.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because I think as James said, Mike, it's a complete free hit up there. Any points will be bonus points, really, won't they? And we've just got to hope, and if we don't come out with any points, we've just got to bounce back, haven't we?
Yeah, that's what we've managed to do this year, which is great. Every time we've lost, we've seen a bounce back again, which is we've not done that in the past, and we'll put a couple more wins together, and great. I'm not expecting us to get too much up there, to be totally honest. If we do, I really would start believing that we could maybe make that top four. I really do. But realistically, I'm still, I hope we can pick up a couple of wins in these next 4 games, and then we're still in with a really good shot at European football next year.
Yeah.
And I think we need it. I think we need it to keep the likes of Rice and maybe attract like the likes of Lindegaard and a couple more, which we're obviously going to need a much bigger squad if we do. So, like I say, it's a free hit, isn't it? It's free hit. Let's get up there and give it a go. A point again would be fabulous.
Yeah. Well, let's talk tactics on starting 11. John, I mean, would you prefer, Fabianski and goal, would you prefer back 4 or back 5 for you?
Bearing in mind that City are more than likely going to be 4-3-3, mate, I think we need to try and put as much as we can behind in the defence. Having said that, though, I would stick with a flat back 4. Bearing in mind, because obviously, when we play with wing backs, it can expose our centre backs. I know that they've been playing fantastically well this season. Cresswell at centre back's been much better than he is out on the left. But at the same point, I'd rather have us a bit more of a stability in the back 4, because you can convert a back 4 into a back 3 anyway. But I'd rather us have as defensive line as possible. I wouldn't go with an Allardyce 5-4-1 in any shape or form. Just stick with what we've been doing at the moment, the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, James, what would you do? Would you be tempted because of City's pace and everything they've got? Would you be tempted to go to a back 5?
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with John on that one. I'd rather go to a 3-5-2 on that one and flood the midfield, if I'm honest. I think if City go through the middle, we've got more chance. If they go down the sides, then we're going to be overrun. And I think I'd rather us match up in midfield, stop Bernardo Silva and Foden and them type players, let them come through the front of us rather than down the side of us. But whatever we go with, it's going to be tough. Whether we go with 4-2-3-1 or we go 3-5-2, whatever we're going to do, they're going to come flying at us with everything. The only positive on this game that I can look at is that they played last night, and it's a 12:30 kickoff, and we've had a fresh week, and so that's the only thing that will go in our favour. But whatever system we go with, mate, we're up against it, because if they turn up, they can wipe us apart in like 45 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So, but
mate, their steam team can beat us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I definitely think that they've got a good enough second team to compete very well in the Premier League. But I think Mike, what would you be tempted to? Because if we did go back to a back 5, you do see Soufal. You do see Soufal a bit more kind of not as good as kind of as a wing back. Would you be tempted if we did do that to go Diop, Dawson, and Soufal with centre backs, and then go wing backs? What would you do?
I would stay with a back 4. Believe it or not, we've looked all right. The thing is, against City, you need people that are going to be good on the ball and brave on the ball, because we're not going to have that much of it. They're going to have a lot of possession. But when we do get it, we need people to be maybe a little bit braver. And people like maybe Ben Ramo gets his foot on the ball and he's got the ability to spin and get away from someone and make a little bit of room, because we're not going to get many opportunities. But when we do, we can't give it away cheaply. We've got to try and get hold of it as much as we can to create maybe 1 or 2 opportunities. There's no doubt about it. They do get you down the sides, and they end up having a spare man on the back post, and then someone's just there to, side foot at home. They can rip you to pieces. And to be fair, I've seen them, when they beat us, was it 5-0 in the first game a couple of years ago? And I thought, they were awesome that day. Absolutely awesome. We just didn't have an answer to it. But I think we're set up different now. That was a Pellegrini side, and Moyes, he'd be ready for it. I know people have moaned about his starting lineup, something time after time after time, and 9 times out of 10, it's worked. When we were playing like with 2 fullbacks against Villa, we're thinking, oh, that's negative, but it worked. It stopped Grealish. His tactics overall have been pretty damn good.
He has also made some howlers though, and all, hasn't he?
Oh yeah,
let's be honest.
The Brighton game, I'm the first one that's having a go, because that was pathetic, wasn't it? Really, I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen Mark Noble as a number 10 in my lifetime. So
that was a howler, but I'd say 85% of the time, his team selections have worked on the day. I don't get me wrong. I've moaned about some of the starting 11, just thinking, what is he doing? But I've just at the end of the game, I've held my hand up and go, fair dues, Moyes. You got that right.
Yeah.
Mike, sorry, Jake, might just interject quickly. Mike, I'm glad you brought up that 5-0 defeat that we suffered, because at half time we were 2-0. We were still in that game until Pellegrini took Antonio off. So kind of thinking about it, maybe that's really ran about the sort of time that's when Antonio was really becoming a key figure for the West Ham attack.
Yeah.
We had chances that day as well. We had a lot of chances. We could have scored a few goals that day, but they just were so lethal. I mean, so clinical.
Yeah, we'll take some comments and then we will kind of discuss what we'll do kind of up top and in attacking midfield. Russ is in the chat and Russ says, where do you think we'll finish next season? Oh, well, that's interesting. And Phil's completely just followed it up with first place. Well, there you go. There you go. Quick fire. John, we'll start with you. Where do you think we'll finish next season? That's an interesting question.
I'm hoping top 10. I'll say it now, top 10. It was my hopes for this season. It's my hopes for next season as well.
Yeah. James?
12.
Mike?
Yeah, 9. 9 to be great in the top half.
Yeah. So let's move on to some comments. Gatesy says nobody expects us to beat City and they're on a 19-match winning streak. But it has to end at some point. Maybe, just maybe. And yeah, I think there is a possibility there. I mean, looking at the stats, we are the team to beat them in the Premier League stats wise. But stats don't matter when you get on the pitch, do you? Jack says, did you hear Jamaica want Antonio? We'll come on to that very shortly. David says, Moyes' biggest weakness is he gives too much respect to the bigger clubs. He needs to give it a go this time. And yeah, this is my only worry there, because he did it against Man United, he did it against Liverpool. Let's just hope. I mean, we'll come on to the attacking options he's got in a second. But let's hope he doesn't do that. James, you're gonna cut in there?
He's learning. He is learning. I think he's starting to realise what he's doing. Like, I do agree with that comment and what he's saying totally, but he's learning. Like against Spurs, he set up the right way to play Spurs. Do you know what I mean? Against Liverpool, he set up in like a defensive, and they was on a poor run. And you see their run that they was on at the time, like losing to Burnley and Brighton before they got to us. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. But he's learning. He's learning to sort of adapt, I think. And I think he's actually got the players now to adapt to the system. Like Lingard playing there, can play anywhere along the front. So he's learning. Do you know what I mean? He's getting there.
Yeah. Kieran says we need to go for a 1-5-5 formation. Oh, well, that's interesting, mate. That really is. I mean, that's 11 in your formation. But we'll say Kai says Kai, hello, mate. Play cricket with you. Do you reckon Rice will make the England squad as a regular starter with all this talent, especially in midfield? And I think the one-word answer there is yes. I mean, don't tell me that Eric Dyer is better. Don't tell me that no one else in that England frame, because I absolutely hate Eric Dyer. Anyone else in that frame is better than Declan Rice, are they?
Declan Rice.
Go on, James. Sorry.
Declan Rice is a world-class defensive midfield player, and when people will start realising that we have got a world-class DM at our club, the better. I'm not being funny. He reminds me of Claude Makelele, but Claude Makelele who attacks. That's how much I rate this man. I think he is everything he can want to be. But the problem is, and I'll just quickly go on and I'll let John speak, is it all goes back to our board and the summer and Europe. Because if we don't have any ambition and we don't get nowhere, like as in from the owners, then it's bye-bye for him. Because he won't hang out. He won't leave. He won't force a move, but he will look at it and think, I want to go somewhere where I can play Champions League football or Europa League football. Or, do you know what I mean? So we've got a world-class DM at our club.
Oh, we do. Go on, John.
And just jumping on what James is saying there is, we could lose Rice. We could possibly lose Souček. We could lose Soufal if there's no backup for next season. But what I was going to say was Rice and Henderson together are brilliant for England. I do genuinely think that Henderson's like the Mark Noble of Liverpool. Just is not rated enough. He's brilliant for England. The pair of them are going to be brilliant, and he's to a degree. Rice is already the first name on the team sheet already for over the last year or so. So a long may that continue.
Yeah. Going down the comments a bit more. James Bong. Hi Jake and Co. Late again. No worries, mate. You're here for the West Ham bit now. That's the best bit, mate. Tom says, hello lads. I'm looking forward to Saturday's game. I reckon Moyes will go wing backs with Johnson. He has pace at left wing back. And I think Mike, we will need that pace in the side. We're going to come on to the attacking options in a minute, but we will need that pace in there, won't we? Because they've got pace. They've got everything, haven't they?
Yeah, I noticed in the last game, Fredericks wasn't even on the bench. Is that right?
No. Actually, he wasn't.
He came on in the second half.
Who, Fredericks?
Yeah.
Against Tottenham. Did he come on?
I don't think he.
I'm sure he did.
I don't think he did. I think.
I don't know. I thought I looked down the bench and I couldn't see him, and I thought
I'll have a look. No, well, I think it did come out. I think Moyes is keeping it under wraps. That people are saying that he did have a bit of an injury. I don't think he was even in the squad, but I'll have a look.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
He scored that goal. He scored that goal, and he couldn't believe it.
No, got so much time. They give him so much time.
No, Mike, I've just looked. He wasn't. Apologies. Yeah, I was thinking of the previous game. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I looked down the bench and I thought Fredericks wasn't even there. I thought, he's got to be injured because he's done some really good work when he's come on.
Yeah.
And when he started against Villa, I think he's got more going forward than we ever realised, I think. We always knew he's quick, but defensively he's been a little bit found wanting from time to time. But, I think if he's fit, we might need him.
See, the thing is, I've had a debate with Fredericks, people saying, well, you need to, why don't we try him as a right winger? Now, I'm not being rude to the lad. He's been with us 3 years, since 2018. He can't defend to save his life. That's why Kufal come in, and Kufal's been a revelation, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
And as a right winger, I would want someone who's actually a right winger, not keep converting players from right back to right winger to left back. You know what I mean? It's just if you do the simple things, you get simple results, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I think he's all right, Frederick.
Defensive option as a right winger, if you know what I mean. And in this game, he could be an option. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah. Just the last few comments. We're just getting down to the bottom now. A big shout out to Slavia Prague tonight. Yeah. Did they win? I don't know whether they won, drawn, or lost in their game against Leicester. Yeah. Jack says, when we play with wing backs, we generally have more possession. But to be fair, we don't usually have much possession anyway in there, do we? We're not that kind of team. Forever Blown Bubble says, do we need to score first to get any type of result? And I think we do. I think if we concede in the first 20 minutes, it could be trouble. But to be fair, they did that against they did that against Arsenal. They scored within 2 minutes. And Arsenal managed to hold it out to 1-0, but I think that will give us a massive boost. Obviously, scoring the first goal. Ben says, if we qualify for Europe next season, do you see Moyes giving the youth a chance in the Europa League? That's an interesting question. John, I'll put that to you. I mean, there will have to be some squad rotation in there somewhere for the players that are playing. It was 2 times a week, now it's once a week. I mean, the players, they're not getting a rest. Ogbonna, he's having to rest because he's got the injury, but especially Rice and Souček in the middle.
Absolutely, mate. Completely agree with you. I'm struggling to think of what juniors, to be honest with you, because I haven't really seen anyone over the last season or so. I mean, obviously, Ben Johnson, of course. Maybe we might get to see this Alves that came in January, because he's very highly rated. So you never know. But yeah, if we can't bring players in, then yeah, we've got to look to our own.
Yeah. If you get at Man City, they panic. We need to attack. So yeah. Let's move on. The one thing I did notice, I did watch bits of their game against Arsenal, and they commit bodies forward. They commit a lot of bodies forward. And if we can do what we do best sometimes, especially with Lingard and Ben Rama and Antonio up top, I think that we could see doing them on the break. They don't leave that many numbers back. It could be where we could exploit them. James, I'll put that to you.
Yeah, what we need to do is we need to hold them firm and be defensively on it from start to finish. The counter attack is key for us, because one thing we have got is pace going the other way. Do you know what I mean? It's a big question whether you risk Antonio for this game, in my eyes. Like, I look at this game and I just think this game's so up. This is hard. Like, City are just wiping teams apart. And I'm not delusional to think we're going to go up there and nick something. But if we do, it'd be amazing. But I would like to see pace going the other way. I'd like to see Ben Rama start. I'd like to see Bowen, Ben Rama and Lingard, all three of them going the other way. And we just need to hold firm, hold tight, and hope if we get to half time and it's level, then there's a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there is. So, Mike, presuming we go for the 4-2-3-1, who would you like to see as those four attacking players? I mean, just far away. Which four would be your pick? Going up to Man City.
I'd definitely take Ben Rama. I just think he's good on the ball, and we need him. I just think we need him for this game. Yeah, and that would be the change from the last game, I think. Probably, I don't know, Fornals, he may be needed as well because of his work rate, and obviously Moyes likes that. And yeah, he does a lot of work that goes unnoticed as well, Fornals.
Yeah, definitely. And I think
Bowen and Antonio and Lindegaard,
Yeah, I think, John, Ben Rama hasn't featured in the starting 11 in the last few games. What do you think's that down to, and who would be your four up top, presuming Antonio's fit enough to play?
I just kind of think, mate, that it's down to rotation. Just try and get players some game time more than anything else. And Mike, I agree with you 100% on that. With my preview, I've put Bowen out on the right, Fornals in the midfield, in the centre. Ben Rama on the left and Lingard up front. I think the four of them together will expose, especially as I said, if City are going to go for a 4-3-3, I reckon those four expose some really good holes in there. Plus we've got Souček and Rice behind them as well, who again are really good at getting some holes in the midfield for any opposition we're up against this season. So it's a shame that Ben Rama's not been playing, not been starting, but maybe he's just trying to nurse him back into games properly and get him. Maybe his match fitness isn't 100%. Nobody knows, but yeah, he's definitely on the cards for me.
Yeah. So let's go on to predictions then, and I'm sure the predictions won't be as positive as they've been in the last few weeks. James, we'll come to you first. Sometimes you don't like giving us your prediction because it is hard, but give us your prediction. I'll tell you what we'll do. Give us your heart's prediction and give us your head's prediction.
My heart's prediction is 1-1. But my head is telling me 3-1 City. I think we might score, but they're lethal in front of goal, and they don't muck about. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, 3-1 or 1-1. If we win this game, I will say this before you pass over to the gentleman. Yeah, if we do win this game, then top four is well within our grasp. If we go up there and nick a win,
Totally is.
Yeah.
Totally is.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Mike, come to we will come to you. Give us your heart and your head's prediction.
Again, 1-1. I'd love it if we got a point. Great, but yeah, 2-0 to them. That's the way I'm going on that. I think, realistically, we do well to score against them. I can't see us keeping them out, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
But if we could get a 1-1 draw, I would just, I'd be over the moon. And like James said, if we do get a result, if we did win up there, I mean, the sky's the limit. We could make that top 4. I would start believing.
Yeah, and JP, what's your prediction?
It's one of the few occasions that me and James actually agree with each other. It's exactly that. I'm exactly the same. I was literally under my hands going 3-3 before he said it. It is. My heart is saying 1-1, and my head is saying 3-1 loss.
Yeah. For me, I always promise myself that I will predict a positive prediction, and I am going to predict a positive prediction. I'm going to go 2-2. I think 3-1 could be a very likely result, but I always say to myself that I'll be positive. I'm going to go 2-2. I think there's goals in our side. There definitely is. If we play Ben Rama, Lingard, Souček, Dawson, you know what we're like from corners, and that is interesting as well, isn't it? Because we've got when we do get corners, we've really got we've really got to capitalise, and that's really where we could exploit them at places, couldn't we? Yeah, definitely. So we will take your guys' predictions now. There is a few positive ones in there. So David's going 1-0 West Ham. Could you imagine going up there and nicking a 1-0 win? Gary's going 2-0 for West Ham. Well, Gary, that is positive. Neil, 2-1 West Ham. We can do this. Forever's going 1-1 if we score first. Jack's agreeing with Gary and going 2-0 West Ham. 2-1 West Ham. A late Soufal brace. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if that gets us into Champions League? How much of a more legend if he's not already for the game that he's played for West Ham?
James, if you're old enough, mate, put a bet on for that. See what the odds are.
Cool. Yeah.
It would be. Jack says anything is possible, lads. If we score against City, who will get the goal? I'm going to go Saeed Ben Rama if he starts. Mike?
Ben Rama's due a goal.
Yeah.
He is
James?
due a goal. And what a time to score it would be, wouldn't it? It'd be amazing.
I'm going to say Lingard, mate. He's going to be up for this massively against them across the city.
Yeah. John?
Exactly what I was going to say. Exactly the same things. A Man United player playing at City. He hasn't scored for a game or two now. He's going to want to get a goal. I genuinely think he's going to be the first goal scorer.
Yeah. Kieran is going. Don't think our band of brothers will be playing this week. 2-0 to City. 2-1 to them. Cyber's going. Ben's going 2-0. Souček at a corner. That'd be decent, wouldn't it? Gates is going 2-1 City. Yeah, I would that, Ben. Yeah, definitely. Tom's going 2-1 City as well. We're going Lingard for the goal scorer as well. And Lingard. Right, so let's move on from the game then. I mean, there's a bit of confidence in the side. So let's move on from that. And I'd just like to say, Tom did somebody brought it up in the chat earlier. There's come out today that Jamaica have approached Mikel Antonio to switch from England to Jamaica for the national side. John, I mean, with our West Ham heads and with our kind of we want him to do well. What do you think of that? Because if he gets in there, it would be typical if he got a 1-month hamstring injury if he went out there for the Euros, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the approach. He's only played for England in a couple of friendlies, so they're well within their rights to ask him to do it. I know a lot of people have been saying he's on to actually start for Jamaica, but I don't think he will. I mean, it could happen. You know, we said the same thing about Zaha when he was going to be before he made a decision for the Ivory Coast. So anything's possible. I wouldn't blame Mickey if he did it. Wouldn't blame him for it at all. He's got a better chance of playing at the top level, so I wouldn't blame him in any shape or form. But it would be nice for him to represent England, of course. But at the same point, I'd rather him be playing 15, 16 times before 15, 16 times before he retires for Jamaica than 2 or 3 for England.
Yeah. With our West Ham heads on, James, do you think that's a good move for him to try and get some national game time out there?
I think it's a good move for one thing. If he goes and plays and gets Leon Bailey from Leverkusen to come to us, do you know what I mean? That's the only good thing that I would say about it. Nah, honestly, if it's up to him, innit? Like, obviously, we don't want him to do it because we know what his injury record's like. But if it depends how much he wants it, really. Do you know what I mean? If he wants it, then like every other player, Rice goes and plays for England, so why should Mikel be any different to Rice? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's one of them ones, really. Do you know what I mean? We'll just see what happens.
Yeah. Peach is in the building. Yes, J to the A to the K to the E. Peach has got a rap coming for me, so I'm looking forward to hearing that piece. That's going to be amazing. Good evening, mate. How are you? And he's going to be positive. It's Peach. Positive Peach. There we go. Positive Peach. That's what I'm going to call you. 3-1 West Ham. He's going, and yeah, everybody's loving you. In the chat. Yes, Peach, you know that. Right, let's kind of move on. Actually, Mike, I will come to you on that. Is that good for Antonio, do you think?
Sorry, buddy. What? The Antonio thing?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll be worried about his injuries and travelling all over the place. So, I wish he'd try and have a crack for England, but I don't think he's going to get in there. I really don't. He's been in a couple of squads, hasn't he? And I think Allardyce picked him, didn't he? And he nearly brought him on. He got really close to bringing him on, but he didn't. So, yeah, you can't blame the guy, can you? You can't blame the guy. He's what's he, 30 now? He's not going to get many chances, is he? Really? I mean, it's now or never for him, really.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just laughing at what Peachy said in the chat. Let Antonio play him and Ravel. Right, here we go. Story from Peach all the way from Canada. Just got my blood clot haircut and they tried to charge $45. I walked out. Oh dear, Peach. JP, big up.
Up you, mate.
As well, James. Just a couple more subjects I'd like to talk about. John, we'll come to you first. It's about the Diop and Ogbonna situation, because people have been saying in the week, if Diop continues these good performances, do you think that Ogbonna will find it hard to come back into the starting 11 when he's fit again?
Yeah, I think all players should face that dilemma. As much as I love Ogbonna, he was my hammer of the year last season, and he's coming up to be that for this season, regardless of the injury he picked up. I generally think that players, we're not England, we're not Man United. Players shouldn't be returning automatically just on merit. Players need to be possibly fighting for the place every single game. So if Dawson and Diop keep going the way they're going, then fair play, and keep Ogbonna on the bench for, could be very handy for a last-minute substitute as well, for that matter.
Yeah. James, do you think it'll be hard for Ogbonna to come back in if Diop puts in the good performances?
Do you know what? It's good to see Diop getting in good performances. He's been with us 2 years, and many years ago, people didn't want Ogbonna at the club. He was on the verge of being chucked out because he weren't good enough, people were saying. And 2 years on, he's been arguably one of our best defenders, if not our best defender at the club. And he's been high up in people's opinions. Do you know what I mean? Diop, he's been with us 3 years, since 2018, I think it is. He's getting better, but he's getting better with us, but it's taken a bit of time. Do you know what I mean? And I like it if that he's performing now, because that's the player we see when he first arrived. Do you know what I mean? He's lost his way a little bit, but he needs game time. Like the first start against Sheffield United, that was his first start since Crystal Palace in the middle of December. So he needs a bit of game time. He's getting a bit of confidence, and I actually do like Diop. I think Diop's a good player. I just think he needs someone next to him to advise him. And I think when he had Boleyn next to him, I don't think the communication was proper, speaking. But with Dawson and with Ogbonna, they talk, and they shout, and you know what I mean. So yeah, it's a good. Whatever happens with Ogbonna, if Ogbonna sits on the bench for a couple of games, so be it. He's done his time this year. He's done well for us. Do you know what I mean? And he might be called upon whenever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mike, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I like Diop. He's still quite young as well, isn't he? You know, we got to remember that, and not that experienced really. But you're right, he does need someone to talk to him, and you know, I think Dawson has done that. He's come in there and he's a real talker. You can hear it on, you know, when you've got the no fans noise on there, you can hear him talking. He's organising that defence all the time, and I think Diop does need that. You know, we had a few games, and I remember that Brighton game where we was winning, weren't we, 2 or 3-0, and we let in a couple of silly goals, and it was just silly mistakes, lack of confidence there, obviously. But I think Moyes, you know, and his backup staff now can help him, you know, and it is good that he's back in there, and I'm glad to see him doing well. Mourinho rates him really highly, doesn't he? I think when we won at Tottenham, he was saying what a monster this guy is, and he's a big lad as well.
He actually got man of the match in that game.
He did, didn't
Tottenham away, actually,
and he should have scored, shouldn't he? Hell of a run from his own half, but I do like him. So it's great. It's great for Moyes, isn't it? It's good to have headaches like that, you know, with 3 or 4 defenders playing really well in the same position. Well, you know, long may it continue.
Exactly. Just like to say, special shout out, Neil's in the chat. Evening all, South Australia, 6:50 on Friday morning. You two are nocturnal. Both of you are now in the chat. Kieran and Neil, thank you very much for coming in, guys. Because I know it's late. I think it was 5:10. I expect that's about 5:30 in the morning for Kieran now, and whatever time it is over there. But I just like to say, can you please check out Canning Town Len using the link in the description down below. Just give the guys 60-second break. Please see the video here. Canning Town Len is your best place to buy custom portraits that you can buy on the internet. Canning Town Len does animated portraits like this one he did for me up here. They're absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't recommend them enough. So just some ones that he did for me. I've got this one here outside the London Stadium. I mean, it looks just like me, really. The best possible kind of animated portrait, kind of animated cartoon kind of picture I could hope for, really. They're absolutely amazing, and they are so realistic, look exactly like me, and they are very good to buy. So make sure you do click the link in the description down below to buy a portrait from Canning Town Len. I'd highly recommend them. Click the link in the description down below. He does animated portraits, non-West Ham related, West Ham related, lots of different backgrounds, any shirt, any background. You can basically customize it to your absolute kind of needs and what you exactly want. So click the link in the description down below to check out Canning Town Len. Come on, your irons. As me of about a month ago said, please check out Canning Town Len using the link in the description. That just gave me a minute. You know, I've been on here for 1 hour and 23, just to stretch me legs a little bit. So let's move on then to our last couple of subjects. So let's move forward. John, will come to you. Let's move forward. Our next 6 games, they are very tough. I've got them just here. I think. I mean, we've got Man City on Saturday, and then let's have a look who have we got. We got Man City, then Leeds, Man United, Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester, Newcastle, and so on. I mean, there's some very tough games in there, but it's going to be tough. But it's really gonna show. If we get out of them games with a decent amount of points, it'll be good. 5.
No, Ryan's asking for a wave. Yeah. So I'm waving at him.
There you go. Hello, Ryan, mate, and there's a wave from me as well. Not that it's worth anything, but thanks for coming on, mate.
They're going to be tough games. They are going to be tough games. I mean, Leeds, everyone's going to be thinking, yeah, we can get a win out of this, because Leeds have slipped down since they were the start of the season, but they're still going to be a tough side to play against. I should say they're really going to be difficult. Out of those 5, personally, I'd like us to try and get 9, maybe 10 points out of that. It'd be nice to try and get that sort of average out of it, because we're capable of it. I mean, everyone's been banging on about it the last couple of weeks. You know, our points per game average is 1.8 as it stands at the season. So, hopefully long may that continue. We're not going to win every single one of them. We might get a little couple of draws here and there, and a loss or two. But they're going to be more relaxed games to watch than we would have been watching those games this time last year. Do you know what I mean? We've as we mentioned at the start, we've got bags of confidence in this. We're not getting relegated, which is with the first time we've been able to properly relax for a long time, and from that side of things. So yeah, just enjoy the games and take them for what they come.
Yeah, Ryan says, love it, keep up the good work.
Cheers,
Yeah,
Ryan.
thank you very much. So you got the wave, you got what you wanted, Ryan. Thank you very much for coming over. Mike, then, they're going to be tough, but I mean, we're really in for a shot. If we're still up there in the 4th, 5th position, we could be going abroad.
Yeah, great. It'd be great, wouldn't it, mate? It really would. But these next 4 games, like I said, are tough. But Arsenal, I think they've just won either on the telly there. I think they've won. They're still in the Europa League. That's good for us. All these teams, I hope they all stay in there in the Europa League because, like you said earlier, we've only got one thing to go for. And I just really, really, really hope that comes to that last game against Southampton at home, we have got a shout. And I'll tell you what's been getting up my nose for the last God knows how long is about all these pundits saying how, West Ham are doing well because their fans are bloody toxic, and there's no one in the there's no one in the ground. I tell you what, I got a ticket for the Palace game in the ballot, so I should be in with a shout for that last game because they've said because it got called off, didn't it? The day before or whatever. Yeah. So I'm telling you one thing, I'll be shouting my head off from start to finish in that game and getting behind that team, and I hope the other 10,000 are as well. And just shove it at them lot, I'll tell you, because, win, lose, or draw that game at the end of the season. It'd be great if we're going for something. We just got to get behind our team. We just have to get behind them.
Definitely.
And Mike, just to interject on that, mate, take the Moose and TalkSport out of the equation. Nobody else is saying that. No one else is saying it.
They probably listen too much TalkSport, I reckon, but
yeah, but it is a disgrace, though. It is a disgrace that they're saying that the fans are the fans are good enough to go up to Blackburn and get hammered 7-1, and go to Wigan and lose 2-0, and go to Oxford and lose 4-0 in the cup. They're not good enough, like when they're doing well. It's a bit of an insult to every fan up and down the land and around the world. You know what I mean? And I totally agree with what you just said, Mike. Right, and I do, right, because at the end of the day, I've said this to JP before on a different platform. People have put their money into this club for many years, right, and they've been up and down the country. Some of them have put like 70% of their wages into West Ham United Football Club, and then all of a sudden these so-called journalists turn around and say, "Well, hold on a minute, it's because the fans ain't in there. Is the reason why the team's doing well." It's a bit of an insult, isn't it? Really. Yeah, so yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's an insult to every fan up and down there.
Yeah, exactly. It's an insult for the fans. It's an insult for Moyes. It's an insult for Nevin and Nolan and the whole lot. They're doing it because it gets them views. Simple as. That's the only reason. That's what I'm saying. When you watch Match of the Day, all right, they're never really that complimentary about us, but they've not once said it's got nothing to do with the atmosphere. It's the fact that they're all playing together and likewise the goals on Sunday.
Can I just say one thing though, right? Doesn't anyone ever think that the reason why we're doing well because Declan Rice is our captain this season?
Good job.
I'm actually being being deadly serious. I love Mark Noble, right? Mark Noble's done 16 years of hard time with West Ham United. He has been through hell. Right? He's been through administration, relegations, everything. Declan Rice has been our captain this year, and it shows. He brings a different energy to the captaincy. People want to come to the club and sign for the club because they want to play with Declan. We wouldn't have got Lingard if Declan Rice wasn't the captain. Right, forget about Moyes. Like he's come because he knows Declan. He's wants to get part of the England setup. So yeah, I do believe it ain't just about the fans, and it's about also give Declan Rice a bit of credit. No one has ever even mentioned that about him being captain this year. Right, not one person, not one pundit, nothing. Yeah, he's done brilliant for us as a captain. He's drove this team forward. I've seen this team have a better winning mentality than I've ever seen in 34 years of my life, and that is saying a lot. Do you know what I mean? Even when we finished 5th in '99, do you know what I mean, or whatever it was. Like, he brings a different wave. He's bringing the freshness to the club.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I
And
think
I
he's a
think,
true leader, and I think he'll captain England one day.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and I
100%.
think even listening to his TalkSport interview, it's just the way that Mourinho kind of said, "Oh no, we'll finish above them. It's just a fluke," and the way the team spirit that's about the squad at the moment. Saying we really wanted to beat them and we did it, and it's just you could see with the celebration, guys, couldn't you? It's just you could tell they're all together, and it's a fantastic squad of hard-working players.
Yeah, do you know what though, Jake? It's been a long time coming, mate. JP and Mick and every person might go back 20 years ago, right? And they've seen some hard times, like when we've lost players. Like we lost the best bunch of players in 2003. We had Carrick, Cole, Canute, Defoe, Glenn Johnson. We had a team of real good players who went on to win things with different clubs. It's been hard. It's been hard to see us in like when we was getting in administration. And now I'm starting to see it. I even said it on another platform. I said, I feel emotional because I'm seeing my team performing at last, like how I want them to do. We don't, as West Ham fans here and up and down the land, we don't expect to go out and win titles or win cups. But what we do expect is heart, desire, passion and commitment to the badge. And do you know what? They play for the badge, every one of them. Like Declan, every time he runs his heart off, that right, do you know what I mean? And he's like, if you ever see the thing on like YouTube, like behind the scenes, right, you see a man when they win, he's just won something, like he's personal to him, like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the way I look at it with him, and that it's been hard. JP can vouch for it, like even Mick can vouch for it. It's been hard going at West Ham.
Mate, I can guarantee me and Mick, we were blonde before we started supporting West Ham. I'm telling you.
Very blonde.
Well, I think as well it's down to we've got the because Moyes has created a very hard-working, a very team spiritual squad. We've got rid of. Let's hope we can get rid in the summer of the Andersons, the Yarmolenkos. Let's please get rid of him because you all know I don't like Yarmolenko. As a striker, but I think we've got the players there. They're superb. Souček, Soufal. I mean, the love that they've got for each other is just incredible. They're just absolute legends. But before we do round it off, let's take a few comments. Let's scroll on up a bit. Sophia, and evening, lads. Good evening, Sophia, and thank you very much for joining us, mate. I think we have the best away fans in the league, but you have to be honest, our home fans are toxic. And yet, to be fair, we do have the best away fans in the league. But
I don't know about that. Like, yeah, West Ham fans only moan when they're given a reason to moan. Let's remember that.
Exactly. That's what's going on. It's a little bit because it is a little bit, but at the same point, it's. Even if we were if we were there, we would be, James, as you're absolutely saying, mate, we would be screaming with pleasure and we scream with pain. That's what you do when you support somebody. You give them your backing and criticise them when someone's doing wrong. We're not reactionary.
Yeah, can I just say one thing though, right? Regards of like the end of the season and like start of next season. It's going to show what the ambition of the owners now. Like, forget about all the players that we want to get out. It's all about where we're going to be, because at the minute we're over. Right, we're performing basically at present. Like, do you know what I mean? And it will show with the ambition of the owners, right? And let's be honest, the owners are no good. Right? In my eyes, they're just no good. But at the end of the day, that is where we will be, and this is make or break for them this year. Because they could go out and they only sign Lingard and Dawson, then questions need to be asked, gentlemen.
Exactly. I mean, I've been participating in both Hammers United demonstrations, and I've gone into the game and given my all back in the club 100%. And as James, as you say, on a regular basis, mate, we back the team, we don't back the regime.
Yeah.
Completely right. Just a few more comments. Royce brings energy and drive, and he completely does. Can't praise him enough. Gotta go off to golf. Thank you very much. You've been here from the start. Must be painful, mate. 1 hour and 35 minutes. It must have been painful. But Neil says It's nothing to do with the fact that we have a decent team and still, willing to battle for each other. It is, and I think willing to battle for each other, and there's togetherness in there, and I think that is really going well.
Yeah, James touched on it earlier. He said it. I don't know how long he's been listening for, but James, you said it, mate. We're all working together. So it's just proof that the team's battling.
Yeah. Jack says, and this reminds me of the pundits writing off Leicester when they won the league. I reckon Hammers could get into top four. And that did come up about, is this going to be more of a surprise if we do get Champions League football than that Leicester season? I think that, was it 14, 15, 15, 16, something like that? That season, that was incredible. And it was nice to see somebody else win the league for once. And that was just incredible. And that shows there was a lot of 1-0s in that season, but it was just what they had to do.
Saturday's a big test. If you want me to be truthfully honest with you, Saturday will be a big test for us to see where we're at. If we go there and we give a good account and we lose by 1 goal, then the signs are positive. If we go there, and I've seen it before, we can go there and we get rolled in the first 45 minutes, then we're overstepping the mark, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But you just never know. It'll prove it on Saturday, basically.
But also, if we get beaten now, the test will be: can we bounce back again the next game?
Completely.
I think that is a big test again.
Completely. Jake Sharmalenko shut our tomorrow. Yeah, I believe there is a 1,000 subscribers special gift coming from the father. He keeps saying it's a Yarmolenko shirt with Yarmolenko on the back. I mean, to be fair, you wouldn't pay the £5 postage for it to come anyway, would you? So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, you know what that means, mate. You need to step up with your grades if he's threatening with that.
I know. James said, "Good on you, Jake. Top show." And we'll leave it there. Just a few things. Gatesy's been in the chat for a while. I will hand the baton over to him for the West Ham content because he starts. What is it now? 37. He starts. Let's do maths. I did have maths today. That is 3. That's 8 minutes until he's on. So make sure you go over to Forge from Iron. There's his channel. There. Oh, yeah. Forge from Iron. West Ham United. Him and Duke are going to be doing a pre-match discussion for the Manchester City game. But please subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you are new. We are on 1,225 subscribers and trying to reach that 2K mark by the end of the year. But subscribe if you are new. Thank you very much to Mike, to John, and to James tonight. Come on, you Irons, and speak to you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.